Well, hey there, everyone. It's so good to have you back in the garden with me. Today, we're talking about the 5 biggest mistakes people make when growing peppers. I've made a few of these myself over the years, and each mistake was a lesson that helped my garden flourish in the next season. Peppers are one of my favorite things to grow. They bring so much color and flavor to the kitchen, but they can be a little particular, a little fussy about what they need to truly thrive. They have their own story to tell, and our job as gardeners is to listen closely to what the plant is trying to say. Understanding these common pitfalls is like getting a blueprint for your garden. It helps you lay a strong foundation for a bountiful harvest. By avoiding these simple mistakes, you're not just growing peppers, you're creating an environment where they can reach their full, beautiful potential. You're setting yourself up for those rewarding moments when you can walk out your back door and pick a fresh, crisp pepper right off the vine. So let's roll up our sleeves and dig into how we can give these wonderful plants the best possible start. The first thing we need to talk about is water. It feels so natural to want to give our plants a good, long drink, especially on those hot summer days. We see the soil looking a bit dry on top, and our first instinct is to shower it with love. But with peppers, giving them too much of a good thing can actually cause more harm than good. They're resilient plants, but they have a deep-seated dislike for what I call soggy feet. They just don't want to be sitting in a puddle of water day in and day out. It's a lesson in restraint, really, learning that sometimes the best care is knowing when to step back. You see, when the soil is constantly saturated, the roots can't breathe. They need those little pockets of air in the soil just as much as they need the moisture. When they're deprived of oxygen, they start to struggle. And that's when you run into the risk of root rot. It's a quiet problem that happens down below the surface, but the signs will eventually show up in the leaves. They might start to yellow or wilt, making you think they need more water, which just makes the problem worse. It's a cycle that can be tough to break if you don't know what you're looking for. So how do you find that perfect balance? It's about getting to know your soil and your plants on a more personal level. Instead of watering on a strict schedule, take a moment to feel the soil. Stick your finger in about an inch or 2 deep. If it feels damp, hold off. Let it dry out just a little bit between waterings. This simple practice teaches the roots to grow deeper in search of moisture, creating a stronger, more resilient plant. It's a small shift in habit that makes a world of difference, building a foundation of health from the ground up. Just like we're drawn to a bright, sun-drenched room in a home, pepper plants crave the sun. They are true sun worshippers, and they need that direct, bright light to really power their growth. Sunlight is the fuel that drives everything, from developing strong stems and lush leaves to producing those beautiful, vibrant fruits we're all hoping for. I think of it as the energy source for the whole project. Without enough of it, the entire system just can't function at its full potential. It's a non-negotiable part of their story. A common mistake is underestimating just how much sun they truly need. We might place them in a spot that gets a few hours of morning light, thinking that's enough. But peppers are ambitious. They need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct, unfiltered sunlight every single day. If they don't get it, you'll start to see the signs. The plants might look what I call leggy, tall and thin, stretching and reaching for any bit of light they can find. They'll produce fewer leaves, and most importantly, you'll see far fewer blossoms, which means a much smaller harvest. So, before you even put a single plant in the ground, take a day to be a sun detective in your own yard. Watch how the light moves across your garden space. Find that perfect spot, that prime real estate that gets bathed in sunlight for most of the day. This little bit of observation up front is one of the most important design choices you can make for your garden. Giving your peppers the sunniest spot you have is like giving them the corner office with the best view. It sets them up for success and ensures they have all the energy they need to produce a beautiful, abundant crop for you and your family to enjoy. I know that feeling well. After a long, cold winter, the first warm day of spring arrives and the urge to get out into the garden is almost overwhelming. We're so eager to get our hands in the dirt and start planting. It feels like we're getting a head start on the season, but with warm weather plants like peppers, rushing the process can be one of the biggest setbacks. They are native to warmer climates, and they have a long memory of that. They simply will not perform their best if they're pushed out into the cold before they're ready. Putting your pepper seedlings into cold soil is like a shock to their system. The cool temperatures prevent the roots from properly absorbing nutrients and water, even if they're plentiful in the soil. The plant's growth can be severely stunted, and sometimes they never fully recover from that early stress. They might just sit there for weeks, not growing at all, looking a little bit sad and yellowed. It's a lesson in patience, in waiting for the right moment. The garden has its own timeline, and our job is to respect it and work with it, not against it. The key is to wait until the soil itself has had a chance to warm up. A good rule of thumb is to wait until nighttime temperatures are consistently above 55 degrees Fahrenheit or about 13 degrees Celsius. You can even use a soil thermometer to be sure, aiming for a soil temperature of at least 65 degrees. It might mean planting a week or two later than you'd like, but I promise you that patience will be rewarded. Those plants will go into warm, welcoming soil and take off almost immediately, quickly catching up to and surpassing any that were planted too early. It's about creating a nurturing environment from day one. Creating a garden is like building a little community. You have all your different plants living together, and for the most part, it's a beautiful, harmonious thing. But sometimes uninvited guests show up to the party. Pests are a natural part of any ecosystem, and our gardens are no exception. A common mistake is to not keep a close eye out for them, to assume everything is fine until there's a major problem. By then, it can feel like a real battle to get things back in balance. Regular check-ins are so important. It's like walking through a home you're renovating, just keeping an eye on the progress and spotting small issues before they become big ones. With peppers, you'll want to be on the lookout for a few usual suspects. Aphids are one of the most common, tiny little insects that cluster on the undersides of leaves and on new growth, sucking the life out of the plant. You might also find hornworms, which are large green caterpillars that can devour leaves overnight. Taking a few minutes every couple of days to gently inspect your plants is a simple, peaceful ritual. Look under the leaves, check the stems, and see what's going on. It's a chance to connect with your plants and notice the little details. When you do find pests, don't panic. There are so many gentle, natural ways to manage them without resorting to harsh chemicals. A strong spray of water from the hose can knock aphids right off. Hornworms can often be picked off by hand. You can also encourage beneficial insects like ladybugs to make a home in your garden, as they're natural predators of many pests. The goal isn't to create a sterile, pest-free bubble, but a balanced, healthy environment where your pepper plants are strong enough to withstand minor challenges. It's about fostering resilience in our plants and in our approach to gardening. Think about the amount of work we're asking these pepper plants to do. We want them to grow big and strong, produce beautiful green leaves, and then, on top of all that, create dozens of delicious, colorful fruits for us. That takes an incredible amount of energy and a whole lot of nutrients. It's like asking a construction crew to build a beautiful house but not giving them enough lumber or nails. They simply can't complete the project without the right materials. Peppers are what we call heavy feeders, which means they draw a lot of nutrients from the soil throughout the growing season. A mistake many gardeners make, especially when they have rich, beautiful compost at the beginning of the season, is assuming that's enough to carry the plants all the way through to harvest. While good soil is the absolute best foundation you can have, these hard-working pepper plants will use up those initial nutrients, especially once they start setting fruit. That's the point where they really need an extra boost, a supplemental feeding to keep them going strong. Without it, you might notice fewer peppers, smaller fruits, or even signs of nutrient deficiency like yellowing leaves. The key is to create a gentle, consistent feeding schedule. You don't want to overwhelm them with a huge dose of fertilizer all at once. Instead, think of it as giving them a steady, nourishing meal. A balanced, organic liquid fertilizer applied every few weeks once the plants start to flower, and fruit is a wonderful way to do it. It replenishes what the plant is using and gives it the exact fuel it needs to keep producing. It's that final, thoughtful touch that takes your harvest from good to truly great, ensuring you have an abundance of peppers to share. So there you have it, 5 simple things to keep in mind as you nurture your pepper plants this season. It all comes back to the simple things, doesn't it? Giving them the right amount of water, a sunny spot to call home, a warm start, a watchful eye, and a little extra food to keep them strong. Gardening isn't about perfection, it's about connection. It's about showing up, paying attention, and learning to listen to what your garden is telling you. Each season is a new story, a new opportunity to grow right alongside your plants. I hope this conversation has left you feeling inspired and confident. I want you to feel that joy of walking out to your garden and seeing your hard work and heart reflected in the healthy, thriving plants before you. There's nothing quite like the taste of a pepper that you grew yourself, a pepper that carries the story of your care and attention in every bite. It's a simple reward, but it's one of the most meaningful ones I know. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more gardening advice. We have so much more to share with you. Until next time, happy gardening.